Good morning, YouTubians. It's Kermit's Ghost. It's Monday, the 15th of July 2024. What an odd weekend it's been with the football, which I won't go into, and ex-President Trump being shot in the ear whilst addressing an audience. I'm on the seafront at the moment. It's very calm down here on the seafront. I'll show you the lap of the waves. But you're not here for the waves, you're here because it is a Blu-ray release day. How exciting! So I'm going to head up to grab a latte from Costa, not a sponsor. I will head into HMV, I'll talk about each of the individual releases that hit the shelves today, and then I'll take you home and talk about my individual pickups. So let's go. Well, it's not often you see a man taking his sandals for a walk. I hope they are house trained and that he's bought small black bags so he can pick up any messes that they leave behind. Only in Brighton. So into HMV, over to the right of the entrance to see what t-shirts made on display this morning, and it is one for the Zombie Makeout Club, which is a webtoon series, as well as a clothing design, all created by Peter Richardson. On to releases, and this came out last week. It's Monkey Man, written, produced, directed and starring Dev Patel. This is a story of revenge as Dev's character's mother was killed by a corrupt police chief. This one's got a runtime 121 minutes and is priced at £14.99. Next is True Detective Night Country. This was also released last week. It's season 4 of the True Detective series, and it has Jodie Foster teaming up with Callie Reese to find out what happened at an Alaskan research station when the occupants disappeared. This is priced at £29.99 and carries a 15 certificate. Next is The New Adventures of Batman, the complete collection, comprising of 16 episodes featuring the voice talents of Adam West and Burt Ward. This is season 1 from 1977. It's got a runtime of 363 minutes and will set you back £19.99. This is Anthropophagus. This came out last week on physical media, and it is the unofficial sequel to Absurd, which is getting a physical release today. They both star George Eastman, but he's playing different roles in each movie. The Blu-ray has a price tag of £16.99, whereas the 4K is priced at £29.99, and this film carries an 18 certificate. Next we have the Blu-ray and 4K release for Civil War. This is an action movie from this year, and it stars Kirsten Dunst, Stephen McKinley Henderson, Katie Spaney and Jesse Plemons. And this follows 4 journalists as they try to interview the president, who is the other side of the war-torn United States of America. It's got a runtime 109 minutes and is priced at £14.99 for the Blu-ray and £24.99 for the 4K. Challengers, next, a romantic sports drama from this year. It's an exclusive HMV release. It's about a complicated relationship between a former promising tennis player called Tashi, her husband, and his ex-best friend who happens to be her former lover. This is very reasonably priced at £12.99 and it carries a 15 certificate. Next is Soldier Blue from 1970, a romantic western thriller based on real events that stars both Candice Bergen and Peter Strauss as a pair thrown together by circumstance as they're trying to survive the wilderness and Native American forces. What they don't factor in is a psychotic cavalry colonel played by John Anderson and his thirst for blood. This is priced at £14.99. Next is Halo Season 2. This is set in the 26th century and follows the war between an alien force known as the Covenant and humanity. It's got 8 episodes which aired this year. Season 1 comprised of 9 episodes and aired 2 years previously. The Blu-ray is priced at £27.99 and the 4K is priced at £39.99. Next is Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny Part 2. Now I believe this is a reprint as the same edition came out on the 20th of March last year, but don't quote me on that. This got a runtime of 750 minutes and is priced at £54.99 and it carries a 12 certificate. Remembrance next, a drama from 1982. This is a film about several stories that intertwine about Royal Navy sailors that are about to embark on an exercise. It stars Gary Oldman in his first role, Timothy Spall and John Altman. This is priced at £16.99. Next is a Warner Archive Collection release of The Ice Pirates, a 1984 sci-fi action comedy set in the distant future where water is scarce, lots of sword fighting, robots that know kung fu, and space travel. This one is priced at £14.99 and it carries a 15 certificate. Next is Action Jackson. This stars Carl Weathers as a maverick cop trying to prove and take down the owner of a car manufacturing owner who he believes is behind a string of murders. This also stars Sharon Stone and Craig T. Nelson. This is priced at £14.99 and carries a 15 certificate. May Gray next, the complete collection. This is a reissue of the February 2018 release. This is set in the 1950s and it stars Rowan Atkinson as the French fictional detective May Gray. It's got 4 feature-length episodes and is priced at £24.99 and it carries a 15 certificate. Next is The Last Starfighter, a limited edition put out by Arrow. This 1984 sci-fi action stars Lance Guest as teenager Alex Rogan, who is a top arcade gamer who finds out his favourite game is actually a recruiting tool used by aliens. It's got a price tag of £17.99, but it comes with a booklet and reversible sleeve. Le Samurai next on 4K, a 1967 French neo-noir crime thriller about a hitman whose last kill was witnessed by several people. This Criterion released is priced at £29.99 and it carries a 12 certificate. Rocky 5 on 4K next, a sports drama from 1990, the weakest film in the franchise. This sees Rocky Balboa training Tommy the Machine Gun, an underdog who tries to break away from the big shadow that Rocky is casting. This will set you back £19.99. It comes with a slipcover and carries a PG certificate. Rocky Balboa next on 4K, the 6th installment in the franchise. This sees a 60-year-old Balboa fight a charity exhibition bout with the current disliked heavyweight world champion. This has a theatrical and director's cut on it and is priced at £19.99 and this one carries a 12 certificate. Next title is Absurd from 88 Films. This is a 1981 Italian slasher which stars George Eastman as Mikos, a man who was experimented on by the church, leading him to go insane and on a killing spree. It's got an alternate title of Anthropophagus 2. The Blu-ray is priced at £16.99 and the 4K is priced at £29.99 and this one comes with an 18 certificate. Next is the Peter Strickland A Curzon Collection box set which includes 5 movies from the British director and the films are Catalin Varga, Barbarian Sound Studio, The Duke of Burgundy, In Fabric and Flux Gourmet. So over 7 hours of extras, a booklet and posters plural. £69.99 for this limited edition set today. Once Upon a Time in the West next, a spaghetti western from 1968 directed by Sergio Leone. This stars Claudia Cardinelli as a widow looking for a husband, Henry Fonda as a gunslinger working for the railway tycoon, Jason Robards as a man framed for murder, and Charles Bronson, a man seeking revenge. This 4K is priced at £22.99 and it carries a 15 certificate. Hey everybody, welcome back. There's 4 titles to shade today. There's a TV show, a couple of back catalogue titles and a new release today. Gonna crack straight on with it. Okay, first one to show you is The Blue Lamp. It's a police procedural movie from 1950 directed by Basil Dearden, the man behind The Square Ring, the man who haunted himself, The Bells Go Down and many more. His name's actually popped up quite a lot in the YouTube community lately. Now this stars Jack Warner, who I did mention just a few weeks ago. He starred in the film Jigsaw from 1962. He also starred in The Square Ring as well. But in this, Jack is playing the character of PC George Dixon, and you may be familiar with that name because this film is synonymous with the long-running TV show Dixon of Dock Green, where Jack reprised his role just 5 years later. Remember that. Anyway, this is set just after World War II in Paddington, which is in the city of Westminster. Crime is rife and a new directive comes down from on high to put more bobbies on the beat, and PC Dixon, who is a seasoned copper, is tasked with training up PC Mitchell, who's being played by Jimmy Hanley. Later, PC Dixon, who's working the beat alone, attends a robbery at the cinema and manages to get himself shot by Tom Riley, who's being played by Dirk Bogarde. Dixon passes away just a few days later in hospital, despite reprising his role 5 years on, and it's down to PC Mitchell and his colleagues to set things right and track down the cop killer. I won't say it anymore, but I will also mention it stars Gladys Henson as PC Dixon's mother, despite actually being 2 years younger than him in real life. It's also nice to see back in the 50s there was a visible presence of police on the streets, something that is sadly lacking in Brighton today. Plenty driving around in cars, but none of them actually walking the beat. Just an observation. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 24 minutes, despite what it says on the back. Let's take a look inside. So the front cover image has been put onto the disc. So that was The Blue Lamp. And again, I did notice in this film there was next to no traffic in London. Must have been great to be a driver back then. Okay, next one I'm going to show you is Shout at the Devil. This is based on a novel of the same name by Wilbur Smith. It's a pre-World War I action adventure from 1976, directed by Peter Hunt. His films include The Admirable Crichton, Sink the Bismarck, From Russia with Love, Dr. No, You Only Live Twice, and Goldfinger, all of which I've talked about in previous videos. This stars Lee Marvin as Patrick O'Flynn. He's a bit of a rogue. He's an ivory poacher, gets his manservant Mohammed, who's being played by Ian Holm, to sneak into a tourist's room in a hotel, steal his money and passport, allowing Flynn to step in and save the day and manipulate that tourist who is stranded in a foreign country with no means. That tourist is Sebastian, who's being played by Roger Moore. He's worked with the director before, but not in the Bond films that I mentioned, but in the film Gold from 1974. Anyway, O'Flynn starts poaching ivory in German-occupied Africa and is chased and shot by a German commander and his team of anti-poachers. O'Flynn barely gets to safety and is rescued by Sebastian, and eventually he makes it back to O'Flynn's home. Sebastian's introduced to Rosa, O'Flynn's daughter, played by Barbara Perkins, and they marry, have a child. World War I breaks out. It turns into a revenge movie when the German commander from the earlier burns O'Flynn's house to the ground, killing Rosa's child, which, to be fair, it really wasn't actually him. It was his soldiers that he didn't want that to happen. I should point out this is based on actual events as well. Picture quality on this was incredibly crisp and the colours vibrant. It's got a runtime of 2 hours 29 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So the slipcover and the cover have the same image, but the cover is reversible, and I'll show you that in just a moment. The image from the slipcover has been put onto the disc. There is a 24-page booklet, and as mentioned, there is a reversible cover featuring the original poster art. So that was Shout at the Devil from 1976. Next one to show you is Civil War. This is a war and a road movie from this year, written and directed by Alex Garland, and this is set in present day during an American Civil War with several divisions in the once United States. Now this stars Kirsten Dunst as Lee Smith, who is a seasoned war photographer who's heading towards Washington DC in the hopes to interview the president before he loses total grip on the country. The president is being played by Nick Offerman, who you may know from 21 and 22 Jump Street, and he was also in The Founder as well, where he played Richard McDonald. Now, along for this journey to Washington, D.C. is Joel, being played by Wagner Moura, and Joel is Lee's colleague and close friend. And there's also Sammy as well, being played by Stephen McKinley Henderson. He starred in my favourite film of all time, Lincoln, where he played William Slade. He was the White House usher. And there's also Jessie Cullen, being played by Kaylee Spaney, and you may know her from the film Priscilla, where she played the title character. Lee isn't best pleased that Jessie has joined the gang, and she believes that she doesn't have what it takes to be a proper war journalist and will possibly be a liability. And to be fair, she is at times. Yeah, as I said, this is a road movie, and she does pick things up as they travel through these war-torn states. Now, the four journalists, they witness some awful scenes such as firing squad type executions as well as hangings, but the standout scenes for me were the interactions with Jesse Plemons' character, who is unnamed in the film. That man is a racist, psychotic soldier who, let's just say, he's a little bit unhinged. I thoroughly enjoyed this film and the conclusion as well, though it is similar to your typical action type films. It's strange as well because you've got US soldiers fighting US soldiers. It's got a runtime 109 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So inside we have a plain black disc. So that was Civil War. I recommend this one. Next and last is True Detective Night Country, which is season 4. This is written and directed by Issa Lopez, which is a change in direction from the other 3 seasons. It stars Jodie Foster as Liz Danvers and the ex-professional boxer Kelly Reese as Evangeline Navajo. Together, these 2 detectives are investigating the disappearance of 8 men from a far north Alaska research station, which is up in the Arctic, so expect 24 hours of darkness in each episode. On top of that, these 2 detectives have issues with each other, so they're thrown into the investigation, so they're going to put up with it. The bodies of the scientists are found outright buried in the snow up to their necks with a look of horror on their faces. So is it something supernatural, or is it linked with the previous case? You're going to have to watch it and find out, as will I, because this was a blind buy. I've not caught up with this one yet. I've heard a lot of negativity surrounding this season, but it's best not to be credulous. Find out for yourself. There are 6 one-hour episodes in this season. All the others had 8 episodes, so this one seems to wrap things up a lot quicker. There's also John Hawkes in this. He was in Winter's Bone, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Contagion, The Perfect Storm. You'd know if you saw him. There's also Fiona Shaw as well from the Harry Potter franchise, where she played Petunia Dursley. This one's got a runtime of 378 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The slipcover and the cover have the same image. There are 2 plain discs. And on the reverse of the cover, we have a screenshot from one of the episodes. We have an episode listing and a special features listed. So that was True Detective Night Country Season 4. So that was it. Have you seen any of those? Plan to pick them up or just want to leave a comment? Then do so down below. I will read every single one and try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up, really does help the channel, and subscribe if you haven't. It's all free. Why wouldn't you? And on that note, all that's left to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.